Good morning. I'm Beth Schweitz here with you today from the Seneca County Health Department to give you an update on our situation here in the county. Unfortunately, I have some information today that I hope that I would never have to share. Seneca County has had its first death in relation to a positive COVID-19 case. The lady was an 85-year-old who had been hospitalized. Our nurses will start the follow-up process, which includes determining where the person had been, where she may have been in contact with the COVID-19 case, and also contact tracing to determine who may have been in contact with her. We'd like to express our deepest sympathy to the friends and families of this lady, as well as to others in our county who are dealing, and in the state who are dealing with this situation with COVID-19. Many people have been affected by the pandemic. In regard to the number of cases, positive cases we have in Seneca County, I want to explain something. Last week, we were notified of our second positive case of a Seneca County resident. When it was put into the Ohio Department of Health's database, the database which is used to record this, the geocoding at the Ohio Department of Health recorded that address as in another county. That's because the residence was very close to the line. Since the state is recording by counties and not by the health district's jurisdiction, it was placed into that county's count. Therefore, we had just the one rather than two. Last night we received the report of the second case, which I've just told you about, and in fact this morning when I got to work, my nurses checked the database again and there was a third case that was reported as positive. On our website, we will update by 4 o'clock each day the number of positive cases that we have, as well as any other pertinent information in regard to numbers. I just hope that this drives home more strictly the need for us to practice that social distancing and the stay-at-home order issued by Governor DeWine and Dr. Amy Acton. You know, I read this week and I thought this was a very good way to explain it. You know, the virus doesn't move, but we move, and we're the ones who have the virus. So if we stop moving, the chances of us transmitting that to someone else are much, much less. It's our responsibility to keep this from happening. Today, again, I want to send a message to all businesses in Seneca County. What I'd like for those of you to do who have not already done this is to create a statement of why you are an essential business, and I would like to have you send that to me at my email. I will be sending out a letter that should get to all of you later today. If you are a grocery store or a pharmacy or something like that, you do not need to submit that to me. Those are the obvious essential businesses. Also for employers, if you are not following the mandates given by the governor for social distancing of your employees in the workplace, you must not have them working. It's essential that you keep them 6 feet apart. If you can't do that, then I ask that you do close. Also keep them from congregating in rooms where a number of people gather, and disinfect and clean commonly touched surfaces frequently. One of the questions I want to address that's been asked on our website and by me personally, and there are a number, and I was going to try to answer them all this morning, but I'm going to answer most of them via the Facebook messages that you sent your questions in through. This has been asked by a number of citizens about the concerns of the construction and demolition debris that arrives at the landfill in our county. First of all, as we all know, we have no control over the rail cars coming in from out of state. That is under the jurisdiction of interstate commerce, which is federal, and no state has the ability to overrule that. An observation made by our landfill consultant is that all interstate travel is allowed. Trucking still goes on, grocery stores continue to receive products from across the country that come into the state, unloaded at the stores. We all go to and pick them up, put them in our baskets, and packages are taken to each home. This waste coming by rail cars gets delivered to one place, no one handles it, and it's buried. There are no legitimate potential contaminant pathways in this process, but there are much greater ones elsewhere in the state. In regards to this, observation from another expert, the EPA, provided that statement that no CNDD landfills across the state are being shut down. No solid waste landfills are being asked to shut down because they are considered an essential business within the governor's order. And the National Waste and Recycling Association has shared that solid waste management and solid waste landfills have been deemed essential by Homeland Security. The current concern that's been expressed is that materials such as medical waste, which has been in contact with the COVID-19 virus, could be contained in the rail cars. The material that arrives in the rail cars is debris from construction that has been demolished and needs to be discarded. It does not contain medical waste products. Even if it did, the length of time it takes the rail cars to arrive at their destination at the landfill is weeks from the time that those rail cars were loaded. No living virus could be transmitted because 3 to 4 days is the longest it has been shown to live. If we would stop the landfill from putting CNDD materials into the rail cars, they would sit backed up, if we would allow them to stand backed up, that would be more of a problem. We're getting them into the landfill and getting them covered up. It's better for the material to be there than waiting in the rail cars. A representative from the Ohio Department of Health has stated, from everything I read about the COVID-19 virus, I find it highly doubtful that live virus on inanimate products arriving from out of state on the CNDD waste could survive that trip, and therefore cannot cause infections. As I've said before, the main exposure route is from person to person contact. That source is, however, passing the question on to personnel in the infectious disease at ODH to get confirmation of that statement. Another thing I would like to address is the issue of golf courses being open. There's been a debate on recommendations being changed 3 times by the Ohio Department of Health. At the last recommendation last night during a 7:30 conference call with the Ohio Department of Health, they have stated yes, they can be open. However, you must follow that 6-foot distancing rule. No riding in golf carts together. 1 person per golf cart. Or you can walk, of course. The golf carts need to be sanitized between each and every person, and any surface that is touched by multiple people must be cleaned and sanitized regularly. As I said, you will have answers to those other questions today. We will get those answered for you. I just want you to remember, it is up to each and every one of us and our actions to help curb the spread of these infections. Washing your hands, keeping that distance, sneezing into your tissue or into your sleeve. We've mentioned these things many times before. They are on our website. Please review those. Go to the Ohio Department of Health's website and look at their information and the CDC. I just want my community to stay safe. I know we can do it, but I need your help, and I really value that help from all of you. Today we have Mayor Aaron Mons from the City of Tiffin here, and he's going to give you an update.
All right, thank you, Beth, and thank you to everyone who joined us here today. First off, I want to start by thanking everyone here at the Seneca County Health Department, as well as all of the workers who are out there in the medical industry. You really are the soldiers right now on the front lines that are defending all of us and trying to get those that are sick and that will become sick back to health. And when I took this position as mayor 9 years ago, I had a lot of thoughts in my head about what type of issues you'll be dealing with, and never once did pandemics cross my mind, or most likely of the rest of our elected official minds here in Seneca County. But here we are, we're dealing with it, and thankfully we have a great leadership team at the Seneca Health District, also at the County Commissioner's Office, the EMA office. One thing that we've talked about for years is our ability in Seneca County to work together across all levels of government. And right now, that is allowing us to get ahead of this and to make sure that Tiffin, Seneca County, Fostoria, all of the townships are ready to go in the event that there is a significant outbreak here locally. Just last night, we had a conference call with Dr. Amy Acton and the Ohio Department of Health. They're continuing to reiterate that this is far from its peak state. We're going to continue to see a drastic incline as far as the number of infected go, and unfortunately, the amount of deaths. We're asking everyone to continue to practice social distancing. It is the number one most important thing that all of us can do in order to prevent this virus from continuing to spread. I know it's disappointing that we're forced to stay in our homes, in our cubicles at that office, whatever it may be, but we have to do that. The sooner that we are able to react and follow these measures, the guidelines that the governor and the president have put out, the sooner that we are going to be able to return to our everyday lives and some sort of normalcy. So I would ask, before you decide to go out and do something, think about the actions and what you'll be doing. I would ask that folks try to avoid family shopping trips. We understand that there are individuals who may be single mothers or single fathers, and you have a young child and no one to watch them. We understand that. But what we need to avoid is mom and dad and 3 or 4 children going out shopping because they're bored. I know it's disappointing. I know we're all getting bored in our homes, but we have to avoid that because there's no telling how many people may be asymptomatic and walking around the stores, at the park. There's a reason that we took down basketball hoops and have blocked off playground equipment. It's because we notice significant numbers of people still out playing, 6 to 7 people playing basketball together, bumping into one another. All you need is that contact to spread the virus. The problem that we've seen is the incubation period taking so long to show up in individuals. It could be close to a week that you've had no symptoms, yet you could be spreading this virus. And then you come down to it and it's too late. And then we are left with the Seneca County Health Department and others to track down where your movements have been for the last week or two. We're doing everything in our power to ensure that we are working together to fight this pandemic. Plans are in place if things get worse, but know that we are all in this together and the sun is going to rise again tomorrow. And as they always say, hope springs eternal, and we will get through this together. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Mayor Mons. Good information from you. I appreciate that very much. I know probably you're tired of hearing all that from me, but you will continue to hear that as long as we feel that we need to reinforce that. Again, thanks for tuning in, and we will be back on Wednesday at 10:30. Hope you'll join us then with Mayor Eric Keckler from the city of Fostoria.